was getting into it, Miss Bell.
I heard that.
I was really singing with that dude, man.
You were.
He's my favorite star. That song.
He sounds a lot like you.
Yeah, if I was on drugs. That song, Live by Faith. I hear it's available on online digital retailers.
Well, you heard correctly because it is.
It is on. Is it on Amazon?
Yes.
Is it on iTunes?
Yes.
Can I get on Napster?
I don't know about Napster.
Yeah, you can. You can
Okay,
get on Napster.
well, there you have it.
Can you stream it on Spotify?
Yes, you can.
Oh, you can hear it on YouTube. If you just type in Mesquite Cafe, the project's name Mesquite Cafe. That's the project name. Hear it there. Get it. Put it on your phone. Blast it over your neighborhood speakers, man. Let the cops come out and tell you to turn it down, man. That's what it's about. Okay. Hey, what day is it? It's Flag Day. No, yesterday was Flag Day. I don't know. I'm confused. Trump's birthday was today or yesterday, or was it the day before?
I don't know.
Anyway.
That's your thing.
The military also had a birthday, I think yesterday. I'm not sure.
Well, today is June 15th, 2018. Freedom Friday.
Well, is it our birthday?
Not mine.
Okay.
Mine was in April.
All right. Well, nothing to celebrate then. Nothing to celebrate then.
Oh, that's not true.
Yeah, we got some horrible stories as usual. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but the life you live, the Matrix, this whole phony society that the fallen ones created, it's collapsing.
Oh, big
Before
time.
your very eyes, it's just like falling apart. Absolutely amazing. I laugh because it's so amazing. And just, I mean, you know what? I mean, I shouldn't complain about this because the Bible said the God of this world would blind, the vast majority of people. They're blinded. So it's silly to complain about that. But so many, they're just asleep. Yeah. They're just wandering around like a big juggernaut, bouncing off the walls, living life, just chasing sports teams around, just doing stuff. If you're younger, you're addicted to social media. If you're older, you're addicted to, gambling and booze. And you're just totally asleep. And what's going on around us is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Even here local, our local politics, I like following that stuff and, reading the comments people make about certain issues. And it's just amazing, because it's like every little small city in America. We got these liberal libtards that are trying to come in, funded by George Soros or Bloomberg, They always try to take away your guns or your rights or, slowly, enslave you. But it's amazing how many people fall for this and they think it's a good idea and they support these things and they just don't think, Ms. KAPOW.
That's true.
They don't think beyond the initial layers that they see. They don't dig deeper and they don't think beyond it like, what could be the consequences of this? It's just absolutely amazing how clueless many people are. And it's like I want to get a T-shirt that just says I'm surrounded by idiots. Except there's so many idiots, no one would read it and get it anyway. But you know what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about because you're listening to Freedom Friday. So you're going, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about because I'm awake, or I wouldn't be listening to this show. I listen to this show because, well,
I'm awake.
I'm awake, and you talk about, the crazy stuff and where we're at. So we got some crazy stories. We're going to open up talking about this convicted sex offender that was rearrested.
Oh,
but it's not so much about the crime of child pornography that he did. It's how the guy looks in his picture. I know it sounds bizarre. Why would I be talking about why a guy looks? But there's a reason he looks a certain way that Ms. KAPOW found out because the article didn't address it. But it's one of those things, we'll try to explain it to you because when I first saw this, it was just absolutely amazing. But it's one of those things you have to go to our Facebook page.
You can't describe it.
Yeah, you have to go to Fifth Hook Media our Facebook page, Facebook.com/Fifth Hook Media, to see a picture of this guy, because the picture of the pedophile is really worth your time. It's just quite shocking.
It is very shocking.
Then we're going to talk about this weird light in the sky that they're trying to say was a missile launch or something like that. And it
oh, okay.
Yeah, even though the military says we don't even have a missile base here. But the thing is once again, clueless people, the majority are asleep. These kind of phenomenons are happening everywhere. If they would just kind of wake up and maybe watch something besides mainstream TV, just go on YouTube and look what some of these other people are putting up that are following earth changes and weather patterns and things like that. There's a lot of independent pictures of very weird sky phenomena.
Mm-hmm. And I was able to capture something on my phone the other day.
Yes, right here where we live in Mesquite.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, you're driving. This happens to me. It happens to Miss KAPOW. You're just driving and you look up and you see something looks weird. And it's almost like you're compelled to stop and take a picture of it. And when that happens, I just do, because something weird usually shows up in it. And that's what she did. She pulled over and took a picture of these strange clouds. And the day before, I had filmed a bunch of chemtrails over our city. Mm-hmm. There was just dozens. From the time I got up in the morning till late afternoon, there was planes crisscrossing the sky. Mm-hmm. So I filmed some of that. I was going to post that, but I forgot. And so anyway, it was the day after all these chemtrails that these clouds were really strange looking and fluffy. But what she noticed is this weird blue light emanating from within the clouds. And when she went to take a picture of that, this rainbow swirly looking thing, shows up to the left. And of course, once you take pictures of things like that and then you analyze it, you see faces everywhere and demonic faces and, everywhere in these things. And what I like to do is take these pictures and throw them through a couple of photo filters. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like to invert them and see what you can see when you invert them, or X-ray type of filter, night vision, that kind of a thing. And sometimes some very weird things pop up. But anyway, there's all kinds of people globally taking pictures and video and recording sky sounds all over the place. So the mainstream media, they're just not aware of this stuff. And people that only, watch Fox and CNN and stuff like that, they have no idea. So anyway, we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about these homeless people in Oregon and the Pacific
There's so
Northwest.
many of them now.
And these ones are unique because they're voluntarily homeless and they're young, able-bodied people. They want to be homeless. They want to be fed and taken care of. It's just a huge, huge issue there on the west coast. It's huge. And then this poor woman, we'll talk about this poor woman who offered a guy some Gatorade and got hurt for it. No good deed goes unpunished when you're dealing with demons. And then some good California road rage. Show you how people are falling down. Like that movie.
To be careful.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah.
It's just unfortunate you can't be the Good Samaritan.
No.
All the time. You know what I mean? You have to be very cautious.
Yeah. You just don't know where people are at anymore. Because civilization really has, it's just broke down and it's continuing to breaking down. It's crazy. So you have a good scripture of encouragement, Ms. KAPOW?
I have good scriptures.
Yeah.
John 3:20 says, "For everyone that doeth evil hates the light, and neither comes to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved." Then Proverbs 5:20 through 23 says, "For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings. His own iniquity shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cords of his sins. He shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray."
Wow. The word of the Lord. All right, before we get on the news, let's take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back.
All right.
Demons in My Marriage Bed, a true story of spiritual warfare, changed the way my spouse and I conduct spiritual battle and has increased our alertness level to the tactics of Satan. This is an excellent training manual for building a stronger marriage by exposing the tactics your enemies use against you. From all online digital retailers, God bless you all.
God bless you all. It really is quite a book. I know I keep saying that, but it really is. First part of the book is what we went through after a great dosage of bewitching and haunting and demonic activity in our haunted little house and haunted little lives. Took years, really years to recover. Did it not, Ms. KAPOW?
Yes.
Years. But we learned a lot. And
yeah, we did.
We learned a whole lot. And there was no sense of letting that knowledge just go to waste. So we decided to be very candid and open. 5 years after the incident, it took that long to kind of settle down and kind of get your maturity together, really. And we decided to write about it. The second half of the book is training manual, basically everything we did to train ourselves spiritually in discernment and in spiritual warfare to deal with demonic attacks in our personal life. And I'll tell you the way the world is right now and the unleash of the portals and the unleash of the return of the gods, the Nephilim, are here. They are here, folks. Mm-hmm. You'll hear a lot of people talk about, it's coming. It's going to be like the days of Noah. No. It is the days of Noah. It is just like the days of Noah.
Yes.
And the things that you're watching that you think are a newscaster or a celebrity or a talk show host, those things, many of them are not real. They're not fully human. I know. You're going, you got your tinfoil hat on. I'm telling you, they're mixed. They're hybrid. They're everywhere. I watch, as many of you know, I'm a drummer. So I watch a lot of drummer videos. I take drum lessons online. I stay on top of a lot of the drum stuff. And there are children that come out of nowhere now, and they're ranked like number 500 in the world. Mm-hmm. Their skill level's incredible, and they can't be more than 16 or 17 years old. They don't have famous drummer fathers. They didn't go to...
Even if they did, that's really, I don't think the point. The point is that they play like they were born with sticks in their hands. They have no personality. There's no life in their eyes, and they're just like robotic.
Yeah. Incredible. And I know it sounds crazy, but it's just like in the old days, in the old universe, athletes took anabolic steroids to genetically change their bodies, to genetically, at the cellular level, give them strength and performance and endurance and muscles to perform better in their sport. That was a big thing. Bodybuilders have been doing it for years for that advantage. And I don't think I have to tell anybody, in a professional world of bodybuilding, there's no such thing as natural bodybuilding, right? It's all chemical and stuff, but it's come to a new level where there's a mixture. And I'm not kidding you. They're here. It is the return of the Nephi. It is a mixture between the fallen angel and the human genome. They are all around you. And there's some that are just there to deceive and get you the wrong way. There's others to actually enslave you and oppress you more and things like that. There is only one way out of this. There's only one way to have your eyes opened and see it and know that there's only one way out, and that's not through religion. All right?
All right.
How'd I get started on that? I have no idea how I got there. But anyway, Demons in My Marriage Bed. I think it was the commercial. Yeah. Anyway, the book it's our, that's what it was. It's our testimony on spiritual warfare, to training up. And that's what I'm saying. Today, more than ever, you really need it. You really need it. I'm saying, I'm really telling you this. It's not expensive. We didn't write it so we can make money. We have to sell it because you got to pay you got to pay the cost. I couldn't distribute it. Amazon ain't going to distribute it for free. Mm-hmm. Quit being cheap. Anyway, then we're going to talk about some we talked about the crusties, the vagrants and stuff like that. So we're going to do that. Okay. I think let's talk about this sex offender, Ms. KAPOW.
Yes. Well, this sex offender was arrested allegedly for possessing child pornography. And he's been arrested before and for the same thing.
Well, he's big time, too. He's not just...
Yeah. This guy was arrested in Arkansas about a week ago for possessing child pornography. His name is Joshua Glenn Box. He's 35 of Lafayette or Lafayetteville. I think that's in Louisiana, no?
Fayetteville, Arkansas. Fayetteville, Arkansas. That's
oh,
where he was
Arkansas.
arrested. Yeah.
Okay. He was indicted by a federal grand jury on June 5th for 4 counts of receiving material which involved the sexual exploitation of a minor and 1 count of possessing material involving the sexual exploitation of a minor with the victim being younger than 12.
I guess he had a whole bunch of it. The Washington County Sheriff's Office back in May had published a notice on their Facebook page to everybody informing them that this guy, Mr. Box, was a level 2 sex offender and he had moved into the area. And in 2015, he was arrested for the same thing, and he had thousands of images and videos.
Yeah. In fact, he had 2,500 pictures and 450 videos.
Wow. And they placed him in the thing they call a classification level. That meant he could possibly offend again. In other words, he was back. So he was back in society. They arrested him again. But what makes the story in itself is sick, right? You know, he was just 30-year-old something weirdo with thousands and thousands of images of children that he's using for sexual pleasure. But what caught my eye is the guy's picture.
Yeah.
It's absolutely horrifying and stunning when you see this guy's picture. And it's not just because he's demon-possessed.
No.
It's
he's disfigured, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, really, really bad. The guy has no nose. He's got these huge, huge glasses, scarring on his face. And then he has one of those, how do you say it? The tacky...
trichotomy.
Yeah.
Like a voice box.
A voice box.
Looks like he has something like that there.
Yeah.
No lips, no nose. I guess it's the no nose. And you can just tell you almost look like a really bad burn victim.
Yeah. But he wasn't burned. He tried to commit suicide with a firearm. And apparently all he managed to do was shoot his face off, literally.
Yeah.
And so there you have it.
And that's why he looks the way he does. Then Ms. KAPOW found pictures of him the way he looked before. And I said, well, that looks like a female.
Yeah.
And it looked like a female. So I don't know if this guy's really a guy or a female to be a guy, or if he was a guy that looked like a female. Anyway, he was very unhappy in his little demonic life. Tried to kill himself, but death eluded him.
Yep.
So here he is walking through life with a voice box, no nose, no lips, totally freaked out, and
so he's gone into seclusion because of the way he looks.
Yeah.
So.
And he likes porn, but he was doing porn before he shot himself.
He told the courts that he was downloading child pornography since he was 15.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the face thing didn't drive him to child porn. He was already
he was already that way.
Yeah.
That's probably why he wanted to commit suicide, because he was a creep.
Demon possessed. Yeah. That's they're cruel. They're cruel masters, folks. Oh, and Suicide Boy. Woo, it's a big topic right now, right? Because Anthony Bourdain
and then Spade,
celebrity suicides. Right? Have you folks looked at at Anthony Bourdain and his Red Witch girlfriend? What's her name? Sounds like a cheese. Asia Argento.
Argento.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
Wow. There's some stuff. Look that up. There's some stuff. Some research on these people, especially on her. She's a hardcore, what they call Red Witch.
Yeah, she's definitely a Satanist.
And
so is he, because he couldn't do the things he does, what he eats.
Yeah, life.
If he wasn't some kind of,
live beating cobra hearts. He just swallowed them like they were oysters or something. The other thing is, he had that little snake tattoo with his ex-wife had the same snake tattoo. And, who puts a snake tattoo on? Matching snake tattoos. Really? Anyway, it was all on Twitter because Anthony Bourdain whacked himself. Come on, really? We're shocked. It's a moment of fleeting fame and fortune in a phony world. It's you can lay up your treasures right here. Yeah. This isn't going to last very long. There's a mystery object that was spotted over Whidbey
Island.
Whidbey Island. Apparently, they think they've solved it, but I doubt it seriously. Because when they first put this out, they tried to say it was some kind of rocket launch. But Whidbey Island that had a naval base there said, we don't even have rocket. We don't even do that. But apparently, over a few days, they've now clarified it. And here's the answer to this strange light that was taken by a weather camera, by the way. It wasn't taken by a human. It was taken in the early morning hours by a weather camera. And somebody was going through the weather footage. And they see this crazy beam of light through the clouds. But of course, this article now says that it's solved. There was a mysterious object was spotted by a local photographer over the skies of Whidbey Island early Sunday morning.
And that's in Washington, by the way.
Yes, right there on the Pacific coast, huh? Mm-hmm. And it led to a lot of speculation and questions and no solid answers at the time. So this guy was looking through pictures snapped by a weather camera. He spotted this weird photo of this object. It's a light. It's a very bright beam of light, either going up or going down. I don't know, but it's a bright beam of light where one shouldn't be. Mm-hmm. So he spots this, and it was the picture was taken at 3:56 a.m. Sunday morning. High quality 20-second exposure camera. It's a bright orange streak in the early morning sky right over the island. So anyway, he was hesitant to release the photo because he thought it appeared to be a missile launch from the Naval Air Station at Whidbey Island. Right? It's a naval thing, so I don't want to mess up national security.
See, someone thinking.
Yeah. We could be getting attacked, but I don't want to tell anybody. Anyway, he had a strong feeling it was a missile launch. But Tom Mills, who was a spokeshole for the island, for the naval base there at Island, said that it was not a missile launch. The spokesperson said it wasn't. He says there are no missile launch capabilities on the Navy base at Whidbey Island. And I'm going to have to believe him because, number one, he's a spokesman for the Navy there, right? Mm-hmm. Number two, would you not be seeing missile launches on a regular basis?
Sure.
It wouldn't be a unique, mysterious object now, would it?
No.
That's common sense. He says, in fact, the Navy workers are wondering what it was, too. They saw it. So there's a lot of speculation out there, the guy said, suggesting it could be a lens flare. He says, but it's definitely not a missile launch. We didn't do it.
Well, at least it's not Chinese lanterns.
No, it wasn't Chinese lantern. They couldn't put it on that. I don't think they can be a weather balloon. But Cliff Mass, who's a professor of atmospheric sciences, right, at University of Washington, so he knows what he's talking about. He said a lot of speculations runs from the thing being photoshopped to a picture of airplanes, really. I guess people don't know what airplanes look like because this is just nothing but a big stream of light.
Yeah, it doesn't look like an airplane.
No, okay. So retards, you know what I mean? Just asleep, sheeple retards. Hey, take it your airplane. Come on. So this guy says it really looks like an ascending missile. But by Wednesday, folks, it appeared the mystery had been solved.
Oh.
Johnson, whoever that is, I forget, tweeted that a helicopter pilot with the Airlift Northwest Ambulance Service said on Wednesday that his chopper has a searchlight that was pointing straight down when it took off. And that's what left the vertical light in the sky. It was a helicopter light, folks, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This morning, the journalist contacted Airlift to find out if the lights on the helicopter were different in any way. And so he wrote on his weather blog. I got a fairly quick response back from them after they talked with the pilot. Here is the text. They said they were transisting from somewhere to somewhere on a standard instrument flight plan, flying into clouds with night vision goggles.
Mm-hmm.
The searchlight was retracted flush under the nose, but did not switch off and was facing straight down.
Great.
Well, all you have to do was okay. I don't care about all that. Was a helicopter in the air at 3:56 in the morning?
Yeah.
That's how. If it was in the air at 3:56 in the morning, it's going to be more credible. But they don't say that it was. He says so. The path of the helicopter matches perfectly, and now that I know the searchlight was in a lockdown position and still on, it makes sense now. Okay.
Okay, if you're happy with that.
Because I never thought it'd be solved like this. What an adventure. I know many folks will vehemently disagree with this assessment, much as I did in the beginning. I hope they do continue to keep searching. Why? For other explanations. But in this case, he says, I'm 99% convinced it's the real solution. I'll always leave the 1% open. So I don't know. You know, and once again, it's on our Facebook page. You be the judge. Does it look like a helicopter flying in this kind of weather? And how come they didn't say we were up in the air at 3:56 a.m.?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Could be. I don't know. But there are globally all kinds of weather phenomena in the sky, and they usually don't make Fox News. This one did, so this one has an explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
interesting.
I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't know. I know what you took a picture of the other day was not a helicopter.
No, it was not.
Nope. Because we don't have no coppers around here. Okay, this article is called Voluntarily Vagrant. Homeless Youth, a Crusty Urban Challenge.
I don't like that name, Krusty.
They call them crusty punks, crusties, gutter punks, crumb bums, dirty kids. That's what the locals there call these.
Yeah, I don't like it.
You know, well, you know how these homeless people they get real crusty. They don't, you know, because they haven't bathed and stuff like that. So I'm just saying, this story is important because these people willingly live this way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not bagging on people who lost their home, lost their mortgage, or, you know, hit bad times.
No.
And, you know, don't know where the social services offices are. I'm not bagging on that. These are kids, young adults that want to live this way.
Yeah.
That's the difference. It says from the parks of Berkeley to the streets of Brooklyn and in most every large city in between, they have become an almost inescapable part of urban life, known by many names, and I just read all those names they call them. They're young adults. They have rejected a more traditional 9-to-5 lifestyle in favor of train hopping, panhandling, and voluntary homelessness. To me, it just sounds lazy.
Yeah, those are good goals to have.
Well, yeah.
Hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? A transient?
Yeah. I mean, they're wasting all these years of you know, try to build wealth and try to build, you know, a plan for themselves. Amazing. Almost kind of reminds me of just being a hippie. Might just be another name for a hippie. And while traditionally tolerated by police and urban residents, these transient groups of unshaven and unwashed have been involved in a series of incidents in many years. Yeah, that's going to happen. They do drugs, a lot of drugs. They have dogs. A lot of them, they just
I don't
walk around
like
with their
that.
dogs. Yeah, I would imagine.
You know, if you're going to be homeless.
Yeah,
do
the
it
dog doesn't
solo.
want to be homeless.
Yeah, why make this dog suffer?
Dog's not an idiot. No, dogs are like, I want the couch. I want comfort.
Mm-hmm.
What am I doing with you, Krusty?
Yeah.
You know? So anyway, These, I guess there could be some bad people. They do a lot of drugs. There's some crime. They do heroin. They do a lot of stuff. Drug use, panhandling, unruly dogs. And it says the Krusty's general presence on street corners and in front of storefronts got people all upset. And what's amazing is usually they're hanging around all these liberal cities. Mm-hmm. They're hanging around, parks and stuff in Oregon and Washington and New York and California. Where they have some liberal policies.
Yep.
And now you got a problem. San Francisco, you got a problem. What do you do? The current status quo of the park serves no one's interest. They said no one could use it because of these people. It says in Berkeley was famously known as one of the country's most liberal and homeless-friendly communities.
That's
Isn't that
right.
nice?
Mm-hmm.
The city council recently voted to implement new regulations, though. Hey, we're very tolerant, we're very liberal. However, that's for other people. Now it's bothering us.
Mm-hmm.
So they have some new regulations, and that includes limits on sitting down and lying on sidewalks. That doesn't sound very liberal. A ceiling on how many dogs a person can have along a commercial strip, and designations for what homeless people are allowed to sit on. So much for your liberal, everybody can do whatever we want, we'll pay for it. We'll have somebody else pay for it.
Yeah.
The councilwoman there at Berkeley, her name is Sophie Hahn. She says, no one in this room believes homelessness is a good thing. Yet through massive failures of our society, it's our fault that Mr. Krusty decided to live this way. Mr. Krusty doesn't want to work. He just wants to do drugs and hang out with his dog. Now it's your fault, according to Sophie. It's your fault. Through massive failures of society and our way of life, it's a permanent reality in California and across the United States.
Yep.
Wow. Anyway, it's a huge, Krusties are a huge problem everywhere across the country now.
Mm-hmm. I've seen videos of California where, we used to hang out, like Disneyland, Anaheim. And it was a really nice area. And now you should see all the homeless people with their tents.
It is a dump.
Oh, my goodness.
It's a third world country. It looks like a third world country.
It's unrecognizable.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, it's all part of that agenda.
Agenda 21.
Yeah, it's all part of that plan.
Yep. Unfortunately.
Let's see. Now, here's the deal. It says there's no easy explanation for why many of these young adults, they're upper middle class and rich kids among them, take up such a lifestyle. But after speaking with Krusties around the country, this researcher found they spent time studying the trend. They said it's clear there's a consensus that despite a shared penchant for dreadlocks, hiking backpacks, and mutts, gutter punks are a diverse lot. There's a remarkable variety of kids who become gutter punk. Yeah.
The terms are just incredible.
It's a sociologist at Texas Christian University says that. He spent time traveling with them. He said many come from broken homes or throwaway kids, but there are also people from affluent backgrounds. He says it's a very varied lot of kids, different from different backgrounds, just like any high school across the country. And he says whatever the socioeconomic background, there seems to be a shared experience of a rough home life, sometimes abusive parents, drug abuse, and unchecked mental health issues. Well, I think the last one's probably the big one. Who in the world at that age was, I'm just going to go live on the street as a Krusty with my dog and not work. Dig through trash cans and eat day-old donuts. This is a life. But, you look at, you're in the satanic system. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. The other day I was asking Miss KAPOW, I was like, if the guy's going to, the fallen angels are going to make this phony system and this matrix and this phony, how can they have to make it so screwed up? It's just because it's a game, it's fun. It's like Grand Theft Auto. You don't want, why would you play Grand Theft Auto if you couldn't steal a car and shoot police, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing in the Matrix. They're laughing. They want everybody to go to hell. They want these souls. They want to mock Yahweh. Look at what you created in your image.
Yeah.
A Krusty. Yeah. No, seriously. It's terrible. So anyway, that's what they're doing. They're choosing to do this. They're choosing to do this. They like their drugs. They like to be on the street. They don't want to work. They don't want to be part of society. That's what they do. But crusties themselves say that the situation on the street's only gotten worse in recent years because of the highly potent narcotic fentanyl. It's mixed into batches of heroin and cocaine. It is hurting the crusties. We got to do something about the fentanyl. In the last year, this guy says, I have been to more memorials and funerals for friends who have died from overdoses than all the rest of my life, said a crusty punk in his 30s. Mm-hmm. And so these guys...
I'm sure longevity is very short in that kind of lifestyle.
God. Can you imagine if you get sick? You know?
Oh, you get stabbed. And
yeah. Anyway, it is it's kind of an interesting article, believe it or not.
It is.
By Andrew O'Reilly on Fox News.
O'Reilly.
Yeah. O'Reilly. Auto parts. Yeah. Okay. Hey, I just gave him a commercial, man. Yeah, right. Okay, have you heard the thing, no good deed goes unpunished? Have you ever heard that?
Yes. In fact, I've heard it from you.
Yeah. I hate saying it.
Yeah.
I really do, but a lot of times you do a good deed and you just go, why did I volunteer for that? Or why did I do that?
Well, that's exactly what happened to this woman, I believe in San Diego.
Yeah.
When she offered a man some Gatorade. And this man, he was a 59-year-old, and he was arrested on suspicion of stabbing a woman who offered him Gatorade in the Shelltown community on Saturday night. The man was rummaging through a shopping cart on Main Street, and when the victim tried to give him the drink about 8:30 p.m., that's when the suspect started spinning around. He kicked the woman in the leg and stabbed her in the right hip. When the police arrived, the suspect was still in the area and was arrested in connection with the attack. The 45-year-old victim was taken to the hospital with injuries that were not life-threatening.
So she was probably just like...
Just being nice.
Yeah, these homeless people.
You know what I mean? You just got to be careful.
It's hot. They might need some water. Let me say, sir, would you like some Gatorade? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then he just turns around and he kicks her and stabs her. Because he's crazy. He's got demons all in him. So, yeah, that's a shame.
It is.
The guy was 59 though, so he wasn't a dirty kid. Mm-mm. He still was a crusty, but he wasn't a dirty kid. He was a dirty man.
He's just insane.
Yeah. Road rage.
Oh, this is sad.
From California, happens all the time. All the time. It's a California man. Jumps on top of a car in a road rage incident. Someone captured it on video. This guy was enraged. Who knows? Hey, every time I read stories like that, I always have to ask myself, what did the other people do?
Yeah, there's always two
to cause
sides.
it. Yeah. Because really, you're not just driving down the road and some guy just drives up next to you and goes, just rages for no reason normally. You had to do something. Normally, you cut him off, the guy, and then you flipped him off, said a few, you know what I mean? It's always, there's hardly any true victims. Let me put it to you that way. Just little kids, old elderly people, but a lot of times there's no really victim. Mm-mm. An enraged California man was going to let another driver get away. He was not going to let another driver get away easily after an alleged road rage incident on Monday. His name is Jose Garcia Alvarez. I'm sure that's why they put his picture in the paper, because he looks like he might be an illegal immigrant, but they don't say that he is. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure that it's a nice little political thing to put in there. So Jose Garcia Alvarez, 40, was arrested after he was captured on video. Here's what he did. He rammed the other person's car. Bam, bam, he rammed it. Mm-hmm. And then he got out and he jumped on the other person's car and he started stomping on the roof of the car. Oh, and he was under the influence of drugs. I find that hard to believe, yes. Oh, yes. The dramatic scene unfolded between 10 and X streets in downtown Sacramento. Wow. So the other driver had called the police saying someone had rammed their vehicle. And this one gal who witnessed the incident said she heard a loud crash outside her home. She goes, inside my house and I heard a car accident. And she peeked outside. She realized it wasn't an ordinary crash. She grabbed her phone, recorded 12 minutes of the incident on her cell phone. She says, I was actually really scared. It felt unreal to watch. She didn't bother to call the police.
Oh, no.
She just thought she would film it because maybe it'll go viral. Alvarez is seen on the video repeatedly ramming his white SUV into a blue car. At one point, he gets out, begins stomping and kicking the vehicle. When the police arrive on the scene, they wait until Alvarez falls off the blue car. I guess they're teaching that in police academy now.
Yeah, well.
When you get to a crime scene, you just let the crook just do whatever he's got to do with it. When he falls down, then you grab him. So they should have lit him up with a taser, but they didn't. They waited till he fell off. They said, my thought was Sacramento, California. Right, you know what I'm saying? They're wearing shorts, I'm sure. My thought was I witnessed someone's mental breakdown, essentially. The person who filmed it. And the police officers approached Alvarez. They arrested him. They took him to the hospital for evaluation. He was charged with felony assault and vandalism. Yeah.
Well,
yeah. It's really
crazy. Crazy stuff.
That's crazy. Yeah. And California's trying to secede into 3 separate states. They're trying to get away from the crazy liberals up in the northern part. Southern California has always been more conservative, especially Orange County area.
Right.
And Riverside County, where we're from, was conservative. And then, excuse me, up in the northern section, some folks want to secede and call it Jefferson County. Yeah. I don't know if you noticed this, Ms. KAPOW. We have a neighbor. When we walk our dogs, I'll show you where he lives.
Okay.
He has a California license plate on his truck. But he has the plate frame says Jefferson County, California.
Oh,
Yeah?
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I'll point it out to you. So he's one of them who don't like the socialism. He don't think socialism be working.
That's probably why he moved here.
Probably. So hopefully he just enjoys it here and he doesn't
Try to change things.
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
Leave it alone, people. Okay. Anything else, Miss KAPOW?
No, darling.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Then ciao, ciao.
Alrighty. Ciao, babies.